In today's video, I've invited a real titan in the solar industry, but not in the residential market. I'm talking about the commercial market. He's been in solar since 2008, which is insane. I really do believe that if you want to become more knowledgeable about the industry in general, then this video will help you out tremendously. I also believe that it doesn't matter whether you're in a commercial or residential market, you're going to benefit from this video. So make sure you watch the video to the very end. Don't skip out any parts, because we talk about the state of the solar industry as a whole, and regardless of whether you're just starting out or you're already in solar, there will be a lot to learn from this video. So anyway, cut out all distractions and I'll see you shortly. All right, so I got Caesar. Am I pronouncing your name right, bro?
Yeah, Caesar.
Caesar. Yeah, I got Caesar Barbosa. I actually love your last name, bro. It's freaking cool. So yeah, I wanted to have him on because we met through like a group setting. We're part of the same group, and I found out that he was in solar, and then I found out he was doing big things in solar, but in a little bit of a different avenue. He's on the EPC side, on the operational side, and he's been in solar since 2008. And the reason why I wanted to have him on the channel is because I know that, although a lot of my audience and people that are watching these videos are, people that are brand new to solar or just getting started, I know that a lot of people also stumble across my videos that are in the game already. They're looking to start maybe an EPC business. They want to go. They want to do the other side of the business, which is the operations, the installation and the systems and process that they help us all get paid at the end of the day. I mean, I show people like how to get started in the industry, but if people like Caesar don't exist, then no one gets paid. So can you, first of all, I appreciate you for being on, bro, and for taking the time on a Saturday to do this call. I know you got, beautiful family and you got, a lot of things to do. So I really do appreciate you for taking the time. But why don't you go ahead and just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, how you got started in solar and then what you do now.
Yeah, you got it, Ivan. Thank you. And thank you for having me today. So let's see, the story starts in 2008. Okay. And it's just crazy to say I've been in solar for 15 years. When those words come out of my mouth, it still kind of freaks me out a little bit.
You're a dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm certainly a veteran. I would consider it now. At least that's what the veterans call me. So I'll take it. But man, here's the thing: solar is adapting so often that every year there's a new technology, there's a new policy. So what I was doing in 08 is nowhere near what we're doing today. So just keep that in mind. Yes, I have the foundations, but solar is an ever adapting technology. You start considering energy storage and microgrids and whatnot, it turns into a giant opportunity for newcomers coming in. So first of all, let's not let my 15 years in the game, discourage somebody from getting in, because there's plenty of opportunity. But with that being said, yeah, man. So here's the story. College wasn't for me. That's where that's the general truth that most contractors have, right? College, the attorney, the doctor, and then the engineer thing just wasn't for us. And so I found that construction was going to be a model for me that I could follow through. And so I did landscaping for a while. And in 2008, I was working for a large landscape company as a 17-year-old foreman, because I was bilingual. And so I was the middleman from the boss and all the Mexicans, because I'm here in Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Yeah.
In 2008, we hit the hard recession, and everybody went belly up. So one day I was sitting on the couch in the middle of the afternoon watching Jerry Springer, and this commercial came on, and it said, if you're sitting on your butt, not doing anything, what are you waiting for? Give us a call, change your life. And I'm looking around and I'm like, well, that ain't a sign from God. I don't know what is. And so sure enough, I pick up the phone. I sign up for the electrical trade school. The very next day I go to the school, sign up. and I fell in love, man. The very first day that we opened up that textbook, the theory, the electronics, the hands-on, I loved it. Actually, from a class of about 100 students, I graduated #2 as an honor roll. From getting D's and F in high school to graduating as #2 in honor roll,
Wow.
I knew that I had found at least the next passion for me, just for as long as I could write it. So that was the beginning. And so after I finished trade school, which was about a year long,
Mm-hmm.
I got picked up by a solar company,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw solar, and that was the only industry that was thriving in 2008. It was the government, the federal government was incentivizing. California was one of the first adopters to really push solar, and so I got on. I rode that wave. Fast forward, I joined another company called SunPower, and I was traveling the country for about 3 years, and that was really cool, man. That was an amazing experience and opportunity,
Mm.
and I went quickly from residential to commercial, and now I was seeing and dealing and fixing and repairing the largest solar systems at that time in the world, because the United States, we had it here at the California Solar Ranch, was the biggest solar system in the world. Now it's tiny compared to what we have now, but to see a sea of panels where the peripheral vision, you can't really see anything but glass. It kind of looks like an ocean, like you're in the lake.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Today, I run a company. Through all of that, I knew that this was a massive industry, and I wanted a bigger piece of the pie. So, in 2015, I became an electrical contractor specializing in solar. Today, we got 25 employees, and we're rocking it, man.
That's awesome. So you basically started in solar. Did you ever try to go to the residential route, or did you like straight up like go into commercial?
Once I became a contractor, commercial swallowed me up.
Okay. Okay. Got it. And obviously you've been in the business for so long, and you've built credibility, people know you, and so deals are now rolling in because of once you build a name for yourself, which I know you have, deals just start coming in. But for somebody that wants to, I know you do that as well, and that's what I wanted to kind of like dig deeper into. I know now a lot of people, like, they reach out to you, they want to pick your brain, things like that, regarding how you built your business, because you're very successful, and you've been in business for a while, but you also teach new people, like people that have just started in a construction route. You're teaching them how to grow their business. So you want to talk a little bit about that? Like how do you help people get the initial stages of growth going?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, man, it's one of my passions. As a blue collar guy who didn't go to college, immigrant parents, we weren't rich by any means of the idea. I had a passion for helping other blue collar, individuals, and so I was always giving away mentorship for
Mm,
years.
mm,
Mentorship advice. I would have contractors call me like, "Hey, man, okay, I just need some advice." And those quick, hey, a couple minutes would turn into a full hour conversation. So it's always been part of me. Recently, I put it into a program, and so now I'm charging for it. And the reason I did that is because I realized I have mentors and coaches. I spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month in coaches and
yes.
mentorships, as you do. That's how we
Yes.
met, right?
Yeah.
And there's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up.
Yeah.
And so I realized for myself that unless I was paying to play, it didn't really stick, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so I said, okay, if I'm giving away all this advice, and a month later I'm touching base with that individual again, and nothing has shifted, that means that they're not really taking the time seriously. And so then I
Mm.
started experimenting. Hey, okay, well, I'll have a call with you. Here's a slight fee. Let's make it work. Man, they were thirsty to implement the actions that I was giving them, and it was awesome to see how much they were growing and developing, and to find those aha moments. Because
Right.
thing, man, I wish that I would have found a mentor when I started.
Mm.
And the reason I didn't was because, one, I thought that my situation as a contractor was unique,
Yeah.
which it wasn't, right?
Uh-huh.
And number two, I didn't realize that these mentors who we should be following, right, those that have proven successes,
Mhm.
they weren't going to do it for free. Like, their time was valuable. They
Mhm.
had businesses and operations to
Mhm.
run. And so I didn't really understand those two dynamics. And once I did, my career started taking
Mhm.
off. And now I have the privilege to do that with other starting off contractors. And that's not just for solar. There's electricians, plumbers, landscapers, HVAC. I have clients in all realms of construction.
Oh, that's awesome. So what's kind of like the revenue range that most of the people that you coach come in? Like what would you say?
Yeah, they're under 1 million in
Under a
gross
million?
revenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
anywhere. I think on average about a half a mil to creeping 800,000 is kind of the average. 4 or 5 employees, 4 or 5 trucks,
Uh-huh.
and just looking for that breakthrough,
Uh-huh.
looking for that next kind of thing that allows them to break that million. Because I tell you, man, the hardest the hardest number to clear is that million. Okay,
Right.
it's a lot. That's like the whirlwind. That's like you're trying to figure out your systems. You're trying to figure
Right.
out your niche. The banking and accounting is a mess, right?
Right.
You're really good at what you do, but you don't realize that business and being the best plumber in the world, those are
Uh-huh.
two different things.
Uh-huh.
Or
Uh-huh.
you're a salesman, right? You're a great salesman, but you don't realize that now you have to go install the solar. Those are
Uh-huh.
two different dynamics, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
once we clear that 1 million, I find that from 1 to 5 can really take off once you really have a strong foundation.
That's awesome. So what would be the main kind of like issues, things that people, that you're coaching are struggling with when they come to you? What do you think? Is it like systems, processes? Is it like what is it? What are the blind spots for these people when they come to you?
That's a good question. I have a program, and I created it just for that, because it was the
Mhm.
same 10 things.
Mhm.
And so I'll list the first couple of them.
Yeah, yeah.
The first one is that there's always a confusion of why they're doing it in the first place. Okay, and I always have to start off like that, because I'll have a conversation like this with the contractor. I'll say, hey man, so how big do you want to grow your business? How many employees do you want to have? And dude, they'll throw out numbers like 200, 100, and listen, respect, right? By all means, go grow that. But why? Why 100? Why 200?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, why not? I don't want little limitations. This is like, no, dude, I get it. We ain't nobody trying to pull limitations, but why'd you pick up that number? And they can't answer that. And so I answer it for them. And it's a phrase that, when I learned this phrase, it changed my life. Revenue feeds the ego, income
Mm.
feeds the family. Right?
Mm.
I'll say it again. Revenue feeds the ego, income feeds the family. So, dude, you can have 100, 200 employees and make $100 million in gross revenue, but if you
Right.
ain't making no money, then you just have a job and a huge liability, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I always
Mhm.
like to start there, and in kind of helping them create that why. What's that dream vision life look like for you? And dude, it's crazy, my brother. More times than not, that 100 employees really turns to 20, sometimes 10. Because if
Wow.
you're running a well-oiled company, that net profit is enough to buy yourself $1 million house, have a little Ferrari in the garage, maybe have a
Mm.
vacation home, right? You don't always need that gigantic vision. So, anyways, I like to start there. I'll leave you
Mhm.
with one more.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, Most of my clients are still trying to figure out the accounting and the banking side of the business,
Mm.
right? Cannot go month by month selling 60, 80, 100 grand a month and not know exactly what you took home that day. At the end of the year, you're like, okay, I made $1 million in sales, but where's all my money? I feel like I made money, but I have nowhere to prove
Mm.
it. And worse, wait until daddy IRS comes knocking on your door, and that's going to unlock a can of worms. And I tell you this from experience, brother,
Mhm.
because I was there starting off. I was the best solar guy in the industry, go, go, go. And when I looked back, I had created this mess because I didn't take the time to really learn it. And so I'll leave you with those two. Those usually is where I like to start.
That's awesome, man. So would you say somebody who's getting started, you know, with the contracting work, would you say they need to focus more on sales or on just doing a good job in general?
Well, look, man, without sales, there ain't no business,
Right,
right?
right.
I mean, you can have the best, you can be the best of the best, you can have all the best guys and the nicest truck and the coolest equipment, but if you ain't selling, you ain't got no business. As a
Mm,
matter of fact, I still believe this. As a CEO, our number one priority is sales.
mm,
Okay, that's my number one priority is always to have sales. So, yeah, man, without sales, there's nothing. Absolutely, you got to learn how to sell.
yeah, for sure. And you got I mean, I know you're in the commercial side. I'm on the residential side, but I know there's a lot of similarities, you know, because you know if people like yourself obviously didn't exist, then we would never be able to make money. And we're kind of like we work in unison in order to everyone to get paid, you know. So what's the if you want to talk a little bit about, you know, kind of like the EPCs, how they operate, what differentiates a good EPC from a, you know, from a bad one, and what should people really be looking out for when they're choosing, you know, like an install partner to work with?
Yeah. Um, okay, so let's define EPC first of all. EPC stands for engineering, procurement, and construction.
Yeah,
Okay, you know, a lot of installers don't have all three.
they don't. I
You
agree.
know, acronyms in their industry,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can be a construction outfit, but have no engineering firm.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in. It's okay. So now we know it's engineering, procurement, and construction. Let's narrow down to the installer. Okay, so let's say you sell the solar system. Now you need somebody to install it. I would say first and foremost, you know, and I'm gonna hurt a lot of small installers out there. I'd want to work with somebody that's been in business for at least 5 to 7 years.
Uh-huh.
Okay. First of all, a lot of these solar systems that we're installing in order to get our federal rebates have to come with a warranty of about 10 years. Okay,
Right.
so whoever's signing up to install that, you're going to maintain warranty for the workmanship warranty for 10 years on that solar system.
Right.
Products is different. We know the panels have 25, 35, the inverters 5 or 10, and you deal with those with the manufacturers.
Mm.
But a ground fault, a panel falls off the roof, bad wiring, dude. I mean, we're installing high voltage stuff up on grandma's house, right? You want somebody who has a proven track record of being able to install systems
Mm.
professionally, accurately, pass your permit inspections the first time, and overall have a good experience with the customer. Because you're doing all this work, selling, selling, selling. You promise the client the stars and the moon, and then you find a subpar contractor who's your buddy, you know, and he's just started installing. Dude, good luck, you know, getting 100. I mean, us that we've been in the industry for 15 years, we get callbacks, right?
Mm.
I mean, so many components to it. Now, imagine somebody who hasn't been in the game long enough. That's the quickest way to really lose your business is shoddy work on the install
Mm.
side, at least.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's beautiful answer. I tell people that I coach that, you know, they should look at their, you know, just regular reviews. If the installer doesn't have, you know, good reviews, most likely, even if you trust the installer because you trust the individual that recommended him to you, the reality is that you are nobody to your customer. And so when the conversation is over, regardless of how you're selling this, because obviously I teach, you know, remote sales and things like that. And regardless of how you've closed that, like they're gonna want to do their own independent research. And if they don't see good reviews online, if they see that, you know, they've done, you know, 5 out of 10 deals, so it's a 50% chance of you know grandma's house roofs getting screwed up, then they're probably gonna call it off and not going to want to do a business with you. And it's not going to be personal, right? It's going to be down to, their online visibility and credibility. And so, yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think a lot of people are taking that very, very lightly, and they shouldn't, because even though you sell a deal, the installers, I mean, if the installer hasn't done a good job up until the time where you sold the deal, then that might cost you a sale right there.
Big time.
So,
Big time. And look, and then there's referrals, right? I mean,
mm,
you do again, you go back to the sales cycles, right? The difference between residential and commercial is that our sales cycles can be anywhere from 6 months to a year,
mm,
right? So that and so on the commercial side, brother, it's crazy. I mean, it's a whole nother animal to be a contractor, right? We work for Fortune 500s. We're on the Targets, Walmarts, Amazons of the world,
wow.
and in order to work for them, the vetting process, dude, it's like I'm applying for like the FBI or something. Like they're gonna, and then insurance premiums, they're huge, but there's a reason why I got her out of residential, man, and the reason why I now I think about it in residential in a different aspect, because I think today solar residential is a lot easier to get into than it is
Mm,
commercial, right?
right, for
Commercial,
sure.
we're dealing with a lot of union shops, a lot of industry veterans like myself, and we still getting our butt kicked. On the residential side, the independent agent has more opportunities to find that homeowner to sell it. So I love your
Mm,
model.
mm,
I also really like the blue collar, the service based businesses here in the United States, because here's the reality, brother. We're coming into a potential market correction. Let's put it
mm,
that way, right? And we're already feeling it. At least we feel it here in California,
mm-hmm,
let alone in different states. And things start slowing down. Remodels, large renovations, those things naturally start slowing down. But what's the one thing, the one or two things that doesn't slow down? Well, one, solar, because there's a massive federal incentive still to go solar. And once you do it, if you do it correctly and you package it correctly, you're actually saving money, right?
mm,
And then the other one is service-based businesses for basically corrective maintenance in your home or your commercial space, right? So
right.
like the plumber, the HVAC, the electrician, your plumbing breaks, your toilet breaks. Guess what? You're gonna have to pay. HVAC needs service. Guess what? You're gonna have to bring an HVAC guys. So I think there's a huge, and then okay, here's the real kicker
Yeah,
for
yeah.
both of these industries. Here's the real kicker, dude. There's just not enough tradespepeople out there, right? Everybody wants to be a YouTuber or an influencer or crypto, and then of course you got white collar engineers, doctors, whatever, and we've left this major opportunity and actually a problem. It's more than an
Mm,
opportunity because we just don't have enough service based professionals to
mm.
keep up the infrastructure here in the United States. And what does that mean for young entrepreneurs? One, it's an easier entry to market, and two, the pay rate that you can demand is higher because there ain't nobody to do it.
That's super, bro. I told you right before the call. I told you, I was like, bro, if I lived in the US and I don't, I would be seeking out your mentorship, bro, because I honestly, I told the closest people that I mentor, no word of a lie, like I would start an EPC business. I would want to be an installer, because I'm not saying it's easy. Of course, it's not. It's not like a walk in the park, but having a mentorship by somebody who's walking the on walking the path of success, of somebody who's already been there, who's already built that success, and just like literally receiving advice, personalized advice. Because if I was getting mentored by somebody like you would tell me exactly what I need to do. So I literally shorten my time from getting from point A to point B. And like I encourage everybody that lives in the United States to at least consider it, to at least consider. For me, it's a very, very, very big opportunity. for the exact reasons that you just mentioned before I started talking, which is there ain't no people doing it, you know, in the grand scheme of things. Even though with the amount of installers that everybody's seeing, in the grand scheme of things, there's no new people starting to do it. There's less and less and less people that are thinking about joining this industry, and there's a lot of money on the table. So I appreciate you for saying that. So what if somebody's looking, obviously we want to leave a link in the description down below so you can reach out to Caesar. But what would be a good way for them to reach out to you, bro? Would it be Instagram? Like how would you like to do things?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Avi. I'm on Instagram for coaching and mentorship opportunities. You can find me on Instagram, Vaquero Solar. I'm also on Facebook, and if you really want to see my reference and my customer testimonial, I'm on LinkedIn, which is where all professionals should be marketing, because LinkedIn, I think, is still an untouched social media platform for the professionals. And so most of my work on the solar sphere of things is on LinkedIn. My mentorship and coaching, you can reach me on Instagram.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. And any last words before we wrap it up? I know I know if people are watching right now, which I know there's going to be people that are right up your alley, what would you say to somebody like them? What would you say to them? What would be your message?
Sure. The construction industry is a multi-million-dollar opportunity for any new incomer. Okay, so you can make some serious money as in the construction, more so obviously owning a business.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, there's a massive lack of shortage of these professionals to do it. You got the 60-year-olds retiring, the guys who were doing, they're retiring and they're getting out of the game, and there's nobody filling it in. So think about that. And then number three, back to the coaching and mentorship thing. The thing that I wish I knew back then was that, one, my situation wasn't unique. So for anybody listening, I promise you what you're going through, the people problems, the money problems, it's nothing new. But in order to condense that time frame, seek out a mentor, seek out a coach. And I'm sorry, but man, it's not for free. If it's being offered for free, it's probably not good mentorship or coaching, because you want it from somebody who's actively operating in that industry that you want to achieve. So pay to play. It changed my life, and it could change your life as well.
I appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much. Wise words. We're going to leave a link in the description down below for you to connect with Caesar. He's growing his his following as well. Just reach out to him. Just say that you're coming from the channel, just to let him know that you're kind of like you saw this video on YouTube. But yeah, I appreciate you for coming on, bro. And I look forward to doing a follow-up again soon.
God bless, Ivan. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try and bring more and more successful solar entrepreneurs to this channel so that you all can learn from them. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.